This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Minister of Folks Dion Labour says the minimum wage increase proposals is still before the National Tripartite Council. He says it's an important issue and the government awaits feedback from the National Council.
With respect to minimum wage, we have placed the whole question of minimum wage and a proposed increase in minimum wage as a substantive issue before the National Tripartite Council. As you know, the council is a statutory body that comprises of the business community, namely the chamber, the unions in the country, and also the government. It's an issue that's now being actively discussed. It's formally on the agenda. A recommendation will be made by the council at some point. When that recommendation comes forward, it'll come to me, and then I'll take it to Cabinet for a final conclusion.
Back in August of last year, Director of Labour John Pinder promised that the National Tripartite Council would make recommendations to the government on increasing the minimum wage before the end of the year 2019. Last year, many Bahamians expressed concern over the increased cost of living in the country and suggested that the government increase the minimum wage, which now sits at $210. Trade union leaders have proposed an increase between $250 and $300. It remains to be seen the government's final increase amount. Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield leading a delegation to Kingston, Jamaica tomorrow, where they will participate in a ministerial roundtable hosted by U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo. While at the high-level meeting, discussion is expected to focus on a range of issues including U.S.-Caribbean relations and hemispheric matters. The Bahamas delegation will comprise of Mr. Henfield, Ambassador of the Bahamas to the United States Sidney Colley, and Foreign Service Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Sherry Johnson-Deal. While non-resident Ambassador Designate of the Bahamas to the Kingdom of Sweden, Ellison Greenslade, QPM, presented his letters of credence formally accrediting him as the non-resident Ambassador of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to the United Kingdom of Sweden, and this gives the ambassador an additional portfolio as he is currently the ambassador to the United Kingdom, having been appointed in November 2017. Now his letters of credence were presented to His Majesty King Carl XVI Gustaf of the Kingdom of Sweden at the Royal Palace in Stockholm, Sweden. During the presentation ceremony, Ambassador Greenslade thanked His Majesty for the support provided to the Bahamas over many years and recalled the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries on the 9th of May 1978. He also expressed thanks to Sweden for its support of the Bahamas' re-election to the Council of the IMO during recent elections held in London, United Kingdom. Discussions also centered on several issues of mutual interest and on maintaining and strengthening the existing good relations between the two countries. Stay with us. Jareno Saunders is up next with sports.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.